All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to The4Line. It is episode 7 here on July. No, it is June 5th, 2020. Welcome to episode 7 of The4Line. No. Anyway, welcome to episode 7 of the 4 Talk. That was probably the worst intro I ever did. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day, staying safe, healthy, all that. So,
What'd you just say?
staying safe.
Bruh.
As we all know, today we're going to do the fit of the day. So I got on the Lindor Puerto Rico jersey, even though he's not on the Yankees. He's one of my favorite players. I got the Yankees Puerto Rico hat to match with it. The Big Bertha here, my headset. And I'm proud to announce that someone has resurrected from the dead.
Big news.
Oh, my God. She's back. They didn't have a name, but they're going to be named after the 4-Line. So this is the 4-Line right here. These are going to be displayed on the Hall of Fame. Once we get our studio, they will be put up on a board. So, because Big Bertha rules it now. So, the 4-Line.
Bro, his glasses just pulled a reverse card on us all.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yes.
They just pulled up out of nowhere.
All right, CJ, what's your fit?
All right, so we got the division champs hat from this year, this Yankees windbreaker, and that's pretty much it. Basic today.
All right, guys, we got the same thing. I promise I'll mix it up with an away jersey next week, but we still got the home jersey and the Yankee with no brim. Next week I'll mix it up.
It's an iconic fit, though.
All right, so moving on to some real business this week. CJ, what do you have to talk about this 100 game? Oh, it's a mess.
Bruh moment right there.
Bruh.
So, this week, the MLB Players Association proposed a 114-game proposal to the MLB, considering where players will get their salaries, and they could opt out of the salaries if the postseason gets canceled. But the MLB rejected that because they don't want to spend money and give the players good salaries or play more games, it seems. So the MLB made a counteroffer this week, which we will discuss later in the episode. But I really wish we could have 114 games. I mean, because anything below 100 seems like a little less to me, considering baseball is played mostly every day, and there's not that many off days. But what do you guys think about this? I'm not a big fan that the MLB rejected it yet again because they're doing a terrible job right now. Like, you see other leagues come back, NBA, this announced this week, NHL. Well, MLB's the last one here. So.
Honestly, this was a big step, especially coming from normal seasons that are 162 games to now rejecting the 114-game thing, and possibly after this topic we'll go more into it, but a 50-game thing. But Mark, what do you have to say about this?
Well, obviously all of us want to see more games, so it's a longer season. So, yeah, it's kind of annoying that the MLB rejected this. I really would have liked to see 114 games. Definitely better than whatever they want to do, 82, maybe even less. But yeah, MLB is really doing a bad job, like CJ said. Like, we're seeing the NBA come back. So MLB, I really thought would be the first one to come back, especially since it's outdoors and it's probably the less contact than the NBA. But I don't know what MLB is doing right now.
Yeah, considering that the MLB is like losing interest in like the younger generations, like similar to us and younger, and a lot of people stop watching. That's a bad way to go here, considering baseball would possibly be the only thing on TV now, considering NBA and NHL are coming way in late July. Baseball said they would come back July 4th. And that would bring a lot of interest and revenue to the game. But MLB is just blowing away a good opportunity here.
So elaborating more on this 114-game thing since they rejected it, the Major League Baseball is now considering a 50-game regular season. This is according to Yahoo Sports right here. There are negotiations to shorten the season dramatically because of the coronavirus. And it's negotiating the players in a way to have them play during these 50 games, so that way they're not afraid of it being a 114-game season. Honestly, this is gonna cause a lot of problems because one, MLB is again, like CJ said, gonna lose hype. Nobody's really into it. The younger generation is dying down with baseball. They all are attracted to now NBA and NFL, but it's just not good for baseball, especially it being the most like least contact sport because as you see, Korean baseball is already starting. So I don't know
Cardboard
what's
fans.
up with MLB. So what do you guys think on this?
Well,
I
personally,
mean, it's
the
Bruh.
MLB is blowing, bro. The MLB is, like I said before, MLB is blowing a good chance to gain interest and gain fans. And I don't. Manfred is probably the worst commissioner in sports. I mean, us football fans hate Roger Goodell, but I cannot stand Rob Manfred. Dude's doing a terrible job here. I mean, the country needs something to get their minds off of what's going on now in between the protests and the coronavirus, but nothing there. What do you think, Mark?
CJ. I think it's my Wi-Fi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Can you hear me
okay.
now?
Yes, you're
For a
fine.
moment,
You can hear me now?
That was a quick bro moment.
Bruh.
Because
a quick bro moment right there.
Okay, we'll take that out since that was technical difficulties. But
Bruh.
okay, I remember now. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is pretty horrible because baseball is not a game where it's a 50-game season. Like that's way different than 162. It's like a different game at that point. Yeah, it would really be really horrible to see only 50 games in a season. But I guess if that's what the MLB wants to do right now, I guess
Yeah.
that's their only option. But
So
I have a question. I have a
elaborating-
question
oh,
for you
okay.
guys. I have a question for you guys first. Would you guys say if they play 50, 60 game season here, would you consider the team that wins the World Series a true World Series winner? Why or why not?
Yes and no. The reason why I'm gonna say why I say no first is because honestly, when the season is this short, it's anybody's game. You could end up seeing the Padres. A miracle happens. You could end up seeing the Marlins. You never know. You never know what this shortened season is going to bring to you. And who knows? Let's say the short season is a big success. What if they start moving forward with the short season? What if years to come it's just a short season like this? How would it affect baseball?
It's a good point. What do you think, Mark?
yeah, I definitely agree with Brandon. It's definitely a yes or no because yes, obviously they win the World Series, so they should still get the title.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like it's completely different because there's some times where like even the Nationals in the beginning of the season they were awful. Like I think they were around 500. I'm not sure, but
They were below it.
last year the Nationals, yeah, they were below 500 last year. So yeah, the season it's not supposed to be 50 games, but yeah, so I definitely think it should count, but it's definitely gonna be open to any team now.
Well, personally, my thoughts on this here, the Yankees the past few seasons have started off a little slow, like in the early, first 20 or so games. That would be if there was a 50-game season and you start off slow in like the first 10, 20 games, that would be a huge impact on the whole season. And it would also readjust the whole playoffs. Like Brandon mentioned, a bad team could possibly make it here, and the seedings and all that. Like the Yankees probably might not be the one seed in whatever division they're in this year if they start off slow and if it's actually a 50-game season. But personally, I think it's way too short. I mean, that's like a month. That's like a month.
Yeah.
2 months with baseball.
So
compared to
going
like a whole
on
season.
with more of this shortened season, there's also going to be a great amount of money loss. Mark, you know more about this?
Yeah. So MLB
Bruh.
owners, it was a
Bro
report
moment.
by us that a new report said that. Wait, what?
You
No,
started
you're
glitching out.
your internet glitched out a little bit.
Oh, I'm glitching out so much. The Wi-Fi's got to figure it out. That's a bro
Spectrum,
moment
gotta
on the
figure it
Wi-Fi.
out. It's a bro moment on the Wi-Fi.
Spectrum.
Spectrum, fix your stuff.
So a new report says that the MLB owners
Bruh.
lose a lot of money. Maybe. Should I leave and come back? You think?
No, just keep it going. Just keep it
It's
going.
good. It just glitched out a little
What's-
bit there.
What's so funny?
You'll see it in the
glitched out
recording.
again. It glitched out again.
Okay. Kind of forgot what I was. Oh no.
Hey, you're talking about the owners.
Yeah. So a new report says that the MLB owners could lose a total of $640,000 a game since they're just playing without fans. So yeah, I mean the fans have like a big impact on the season, and especially 50 games in one season, that's gonna be a lot of money lost to the owners. Not really a lot much to say on that.
Well, I think here that like we mentioned last week, ticket sales and merchandise, like in-state concessions, all that plays a huge impact in revenue. But even if they do allow fans, that would be like 25 road and 25 home. That's like I don't know, like 10 series is at like 7 or 8 series at home series is in the season. But then having fans at the game is also an impact, like home field advantage, especially in the playoffs for the Yankees. But it also impact money-wise. It affects the organization and the owners, and so does pretty much everything here, losing money in all sorts of ways. So
Yeah,
that's never a
so-
good thing.
Basically, enough said on this whole topic. I mean, this topic pretty much expanded to a lot of things, but there's really nothing much to say. I mean, what are we gonna do? But anyways,
There's
moving
nothing we can
forward,
do.
we got some injury updates, Mark, because this is your topic.
Speaking of nothing much to say, there's really not a lot to say with injury updates, except that Sevi is doing well.
Let's go.
Thank God. He is obviously, as we all know, recovering from Tommy John that he had in February. But why is everyone laughing? Am I frozen again?
Nah, a little bit.
Oh my God. What is so funny?
You'll see it in the recording. It's hilarious.
You keep glitching out
Man,
on
when I
every.
see this recording,
All
Yo,
right.
Mark, you
all
good?
right.
Oh, where did Mark?
And there he goes.
Oh, he's back.
He's
It's
back.
better. You can actually see my face. You
Yeah.
can see
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. No, really, the only update we have for injuries is that Sebi is, thank God, getting better. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
So,
And I believe there was something about Hicks was throwing again, and I believe Judge is doing a little better.
I'm
as a
pretty
recent-
sure by the time
I read.
they start actually playing again, all these players will be fine and ready to go. So,
Except for Severino. But-
yeah, because obviously he had surgery.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
that pretty much wraps that up. So right now, as you know, we have the MLB Draft coming up. I think in 5 days it's coming up. June 10th and 11th is a draft. So we're gonna do this little thing. We have all the draft orders, and I'm gonna share my screen right now. So we have this thing right here, and it is the draft orders, how the draft is going to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our opinions on what positions these baseball teams need to pick and go for. So starting off with the Detroit Tigers, I honestly think that they need to rebuild completely.
yeah, I agree with
Their
that.
team is, I mean, there's nothing really much to say with the Detroit Tigers other than they just need to go on a full rebuild mode. What do you guys think?
Yeah, the Tigers have been terrible for the past few seasons. They kind of need to blow up everything as they've been doing and just rebuild up back up to where they were like 8 years ago when they were actually pretty good.
Yeah, 8 years ago, like when they had like Verlander, like that long ago, like that's what they have to try to get back to that with some
Yeah,
new players right now.
that's
their
when-
team is really bad.
That's when they beat us in the ALCS 2012.
All right, so moving on to the Baltimore Orioles. Again, another team that really needs to rebuild or trade players. They have a beautiful ballpark. I've been there, but obviously their players do not lead up to expectations. So
Yeah, they haven't been good for
yeah,
past few seasons.
and also the same could be said for the Miami Marlins. I mean, they got rid of all their star players. Derek Jeter, I really don't know what you're doing with them or what you're planning to do with them, but you need to figure out your organization because you got rid of Giancarlo, you got rid of Yelich, you got rid of Ozuna. Who are you getting rid of next? So
Wait,
honestly,
hold up.
the
Before
Marlins need to get it figured out.
mentioning the Marlins here, imagine if they kept Yelich, Stanton, and Ozuna. Imagine how good of a team that would be right now. I mean, that would be a good team.
Yes.
They would have been able to attract
Oh my
some free
gosh.
agents with that outfield. That would have been probably the best outfield in the league at the
Honestly, it
moment.
would have been easier to attract more people down to Miami if they had them. Think about right now, as a player, you see yourself going to Miami. You realize how bad they are. You realize how much of the players there is, and there's not really a great selection of them. I'm not just gonna hate on them, but they have a bad team. And honestly, as a player, nothing attracts me besides them being in Miami. And also, their stadium looks like a space shuttle. Like it looks so weird.
Nah, bro, that stadium looks sick. That stadium honestly looks sick.
But anyways, moving on to the Kansas City Royals, another
That might,
team
sorry.
that
That might be another idea, ranking stadiums in the MLB.
oh yeah,
That is a good idea. That is a
drop
good
a
idea.
comment down below if you want to see that. But Kansas
sir.
City Royals is another team that also can use some rebuilding. They can use some but obviously Yordano Ventura also died. He's a pitcher. I think it was 2 years ago he died.
Yeah,
But
about 2
he was
years
a
ago.
great pitcher. He was most known for fighting Manny Machado when he was on the Orioles.
I remember that.
But yeah, what do you guys think about the Kansas City Royals?
There's really nothing impressive about the Royals to begin with. Well, besides you could give them the props that they beat the Mets in the World Series. I respect them for that, and that's pretty much all that's good about them. But if you want here, we could skip around through some of these teams.
Yeah, we don't have to go through all of them. Because I would say
Yeah.
1 through 9, or maybe 1 through 12. Yeah, 1 through 9 are probably all the same story. They have to rebuild.
Yeah.
Um,
But I do want to say one thing about the Toronto Blue Jays. They have a great team right now, and all they need, all I feel that they need to do is use some of these better organizations for trades in order for the better organizations to get better picks. Because right now they have Vlad Guerrero, they have a bunch of players that are decently good, so they're in a good spot right now for that draft.
Yeah, they have Bichette, Guerrero Jr., Biggio. That team's gonna be really, really good in the next 2 to 3 years, and
Yeah.
that's just my opinion though.
That's
so
the thing about that's the thing about the 50-game season. A team like that could definitely be a potential playoff. Like they could definitely potentially make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Now-
If they have like a good start, they could possibly make the playoffs here.
Yeah,
Now we're gonna skim through this a little bit, so that way we get like the main things in. So we're gonna skip over the teams that need to rebuild because it's pretty obvious what teams need to rebuild now. So we're gonna skip on to I'm gonna say the Padres. Right now they got Manny Machado, major signing. They can really attract some people down there. As long as they're smart with their choices, they could honestly I could see them winning a World Series within the next 10 years.
Yeah, and you have Fernando Tatis too. He's a solid player.
Yeah, he's a stud right now.
Yeah, I know.
Then you got a team like the Angels that have in my opinion, the greatest player in Major League Baseball. He's gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time in Major League. It's Mike Trout.
Obviously.
So they have a great player there. They have obviously Shohei Ohtani. They need to. I don't know what's up with the Angels right now,
Hold
They
up.
have a great opportunity with Trout to go somewhere big, and they're just not taking advantage of it.
I have a point to bring up here about the Angels. I mean, that lineup hitting wise is not bad. You have Alderton Simmons, Mike Trout, Otani. He could hit the ball. He could pitch, and you got Anthony Rendon now too. But
Yeah.
they have no pitching whatsoever, and
Yeah,
that's
you can't forget
kind of
about
what.
him.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's going to kill them.
Rendon can definitely make a big difference in their lineup if he steps up. And they're another team that can definitely make the playoffs this year if we have a 50-game season.
Yeah,
So
they're
You
definitely.
guys can hear me?
Oh, the thing glitched
Yeah, we
out.
can hear you.
So
Okay.
moving on, obviously the White Sox, the Reds, the Giants, and the Rangers. We're not going to talk about them that much. They just need to rebuild. But number 15, the Philadelphia Phillies, they have Bryce Harper now. Honestly, they're very underrated, and they're going to be on the come up, just like the Padres. I could definitely see them winning a World Series within the next 10 years. But they have great leverage with them having Bryce Harper on the team. It's a great attraction for any of other players that want to come to Philadelphia. What do you
And
guys think?
don't forget
They also have
Joe Girardi now as their manager.
Yep.
And
Good job.
and
Didi.
don't forget about Didi. He could
Didi.
do
Yeah,
big
Didi
things on that team.
Gregorius.
I missed Didi.
And they
I'm
also
gonna
have the
miss
best
Didi this
catch-
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean that
Didi.
team's not bad. That team's not bad.
So moving on, we got the Cubs here. Cubs have Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant. Honestly, I
Javi.
feel like they could get a few positions. They have Javi, but there's nothing really much to be said about them. The Boston Red Sox, we don't care about them. They're cheaters. Diamondbacks definitely need to rebuild.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now the New York Mets,
The Mutts.
the Mutts.
The Mutts.
They do have Pete Alonso. I'm going to give that to them. They had Jose Bautista, but they didn't use him right. But what do you guys think about the Mets?
Well, in my
it
opinion,
looks. Sorry, CJ, you go.
Oh yeah, in my opinion, I think the Mets could possibly make the playoffs this year. I mean that's an underrated team right there with Alonso and McNeil. Those are two of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. They have potential to do something good. What were you saying, Mark, about the Mets?
Yeah, they could definitely make the playoffs. I honestly think they could even have a chance of maybe winning the division, but they also have a pretty good division with the Nationals and the Phillies. But
And the Braves.
And the Braves, yeah, you can't sleep on them. They can,
Yeah.
So they have. That's probably one of the best divisions in the MLB right now because it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs. But it depends on how they do in the short season that we have.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now a new team that's also being slept on, Pat. I'm going to tell everybody right now, they better have their eyes completely on them this year. It is the Milwaukee Brewers, people. Christian Yelich is another
He's a
great player.
beast.
So, honestly, I see Milwaukee doing something within the 10 years also. They definitely have a lot to work with. They definitely have a good piece of young talent. So what do you guys think about this?
I mean,
yeah, I agree with that.
They lost a big hitter on their team, Mike Moustakas, but I think they could still do pretty well this season. I mean, Yelich, I think he's easily the second best player in the MLB right now.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I think they're definitely one of the most underrated teams in the MLB right now. They might be able to make the playoffs too. There's a lot of teams that can make the playoffs on this list, to be honest.
Yes.
I agree with that. Teams like dark horse teams here that could upset possibly the bigger seeds.
Yeah.
Like for example, on this list, I mean, we got the A's and the Braves here.
I could see like 50% of the teams in the MLB right now making the playoffs.
Now we can
It's
see
gonna be close.
These Cardinals, they died down over the years. Back then, they still do have they still have Matt Carpenter. I think so.
Yeah, I think they might.
Yeah,
but honestly,
Yeah, they
the
do.
Cardinals have died down. Now the Nationals, that's a team to also look out for. They're not stopping. They want it all the way.
I respect the Nationals a lot.
Nationals is a good team to look out for. Probably going to win another World Series within 10 years. Same with the Cleveland Indians. You can't sleep on my man's Lindor. Even though I won't root for the Indians, I will root for Francisco Lindor. Great player.
Exactly. If
Oh.
he was, I wish he was a Yankee, bro.
So do I.
There was
honestly.
some
honestly,
trade talks about him coming to the Yankees.
Yes.
That would have been amazing. I would have loved that, but obviously, everything happens for a reason. So
Personally,
hopefully he
Lindor's
does
one of
good
my
there.
favorites too. Yeah, Lindor's one of my favorites too, but I really don't see the Indians going far at all. I mean,
Yeah.
they've lost lost talent over the years. I mean, but they're decent. I mean, they could fight for a wild card spot in my opinion, but I believe they're in the division with the Twins. Yeah, they're in the Central with the Twins, and the Twins are their Twins are a pretty stacked team. If you want to move on to the Twins straight from here, or
Honestly, before we go to the Twins, I need to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays just really quickly. They are also very slept on. The fans sleep on them too. They are on the come up with the young talent. I just want to say, watch out for the Tampa Bay Rays, people.
yeah, I agree. I mean, they're not a bad team, but I don't understand why they traded away
Same.
Tommy Pham. They
Same
traded
could
away
be
Tommy
said
Pham.
for the
They traded away.
Braves and the A's. The same could be said. Don't sleep
A's are
on them.
very slept. A's are very slept on.
Don't sleep. So
definitely.
now we got the Twins. Honestly, I really don't think that there's enough to be said. I mean, they just choke in the playoffs.
They are literally like we destroy them every time in the playoffs. If the Twins have to
Same
play
with
us
the
in the
A's.
if the Twins have to play us in the first round again this year, if the Twins make the playoffs, you already know they're not going anywhere.
They should not even play.
They have talent.
Basically, if Clayton Kershaw was a team, he would be the Minnesota Twins. Like, there's no one that chokes more in the playoffs than him.
And it's like when the Twins come to Yankee Stadium, it's like in the playoffs, it's like kryptonite to them. Like they automatically just get destroyed at Yankee Stadium.
Now,
Like I don't know how.
moving on to our New York Yankees. We're gonna elaborate more on them than the other teams just because that's our main focus on this channel. But the New York Yankees, they do need to draft a catcher and a third baseman. That is a must. Just because you can't just have Gary Sanchez and Austin Romine and Kyle Higashioka as backup.
Well,
You can't.
Oh, we don't
Romine-
have Austin Romine.
We don't have Austin Romine anymore. Yeah,
Wait,
he's with
what?
the Tigers. Romine
Bro,
signed with
on
the Tigers.
Brandon.
Bruh.
Moment on
No,
Brandon.
wait,
No,
isn't
Tigers.
Romine's brother on the Tigers?
Yeah, and so was Romine. He went to go play with his brother with the
Bro.
Tigers. That's a
When
bro
was
moment
this?
right there.
But
Off
Romine
season.
could have.
I'm done.
Hey, yo, this meeting will
Bro,
end in.
I honestly I really liked Austin Romine because he was probably one of the hardest working players on our team. He always tried to get a spot behind Gary Sanchez. But
Mad
I'm
underrated.
kind of happy for him. Yeah, I'm happy for him that he went to the Tigers so he could finally start on a team. So I want to see how he does as a starting catcher for them.
All right,
He's
so
very underrated.
we're
underrated.
gonna end the draft here. That's
Notice
pretty
how-
much.
Notice how the cheating Astros aren't on that list. They got their pick
Yes.
taken away.
But yeah. So that was pretty much the draft, and we have one final thing before we wrap up this video today. We're just gonna go through some of the Q&As. We posted a Q&A, I believe, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Some questions to answer during the video. So big shout out to everybody that asked the questions, and we are going to answer them today. So
Yes,
CJ, you have the first question for us. We're gonna also say your @ and we'll post your comment in the picture so you get to be
All right.
in the video.
So we got a few questions here. We're gonna go through all of them. So, first off, we're gonna start with the story, the ones who responded to us on our story. So the first one we have here is by NYY Bronx Bombers 27, and he asked, appreciate you for asking the question. He asked, who should we go after in the free agency period of the offseason? What do you guys think about this?
Obviously, we need catchers and third basemen. I'll just be satisfied if we get any single one. Honestly, preferably, would like a third baseman and a catcher that their contracts are coming to an end. But yeah. I mean,
I
there's
definitely would
not
like,
really that much players to say yet.
Yeah, I would definitely like a third baseman. But I can't think of a really good third baseman that's a free agent right now.
Yeah,
So,
neither can I.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
I don't feel like we have to go chase after people. I feel like we have to re-sign people here. Like
yep.
LeMahieu, definitely resign. Tanaka or
Definitely.
Paxton, you got to resign one of those guys. So,
All right. So,
answering your question, I believe we should re-sign players instead of going after players.
yes.
Mhm.
So the
All right,
next
moving.
question
Next
is
question.
by @EagleElection on Instagram. Chances of the Yankees will be
Whereas,
chances of the
wait,
Yanks will the World Series if they play. I'm not
I mean,
not
this
to
is
offend you, but
not to defend, but
we don't understand your comment, but you
no,
did
but
get a feature in the video, so if
no,
you want to
but
drop a comment underneath the YouTube, it would help us out of what you're saying.
well, I think I know what he's trying to say. I think
what
what is
chance?
the chance that the Yankees will win the World Series if they are if the season is played or if they are in the World Series? So, dude, I think that's what it means. Like,
Okay,
what is the chance
okay.
of the Yankees winning the World Series if they play a season? I
They're gonna
believe
win.
that's what he meant.
They're gonna win.
They're favorites.
Obviously, we're not gonna say that they're not gonna win. Come on.
I would
Well,
say maybe 100%.
well, they are the favorites, and we apologize. We weren't really able to understand that question too much, but generally,
Alright.
this is a good guy. Shouted us out.
Moving on.
All right, moving
Yeah.
on. What do
We
we got
had
here?
a comment from Braun.xbombers. Favorite moment at a Yankee game you were at. So, I don't know if you guys know, I was at Aaron Judge's debut game.
That's sick.
And that was awesome when Tyler Austin hit a home run. And then Judge came in and drilled it to dead center. I will never forget that
Oh, I
game.
remember that.
So
That was a good game.
that was one of my favorite moments at a Yankee game. What about you guys?
Well, personally,
I know CJ's already. I already know CJ's.
well, considering pretty much all of the game, I've been to 8 Yankee games. The Yankees have won 5 of the games. 4 of the wins have all come on walk-offs, so I have a ton of memories. But in ALDS Game 2 of this year, Didi Gregorius' grand slam landed a section to
Knew it.
the
Knew
left
it.
of the right field foul pole. That was a wild moment. I mean, personally, that was probably the greatest game I've been to.
What about you, Mark?
And this is pretty funny, but I mean, I've been to a decent amount of Yankee games. I would say at least like 7 to 10, but I can't really remember a really specific moment. I knew they won at least half of those games that I
That's
went
beautiful.
to, but I remember when I was 10 years old, I was at the game with my mom and dad, and my mom went to go to the bathroom, and while she was at the bathroom, my dad and I got on the jumbotron, so that was pretty fun.
All right,
I've been
moving
on it.
on.
I've been on it before too. So
When do you by Pinstripe coverage on Instagram? When do you see the season starting? I see the season starting again.
July
now.
4th.
They announced
I've
it.
said this before. 4th of July,
So,
Yes.
opening day.
Well-
long story short, we're gonna start going fast with these questions because
Boys, let's just hope there's a season this year. Let's just hope for that.
yeah.
So,
So we're gonna start
I'm,
going fast with these questions. So the next thing is by Yankees_analyst. Who do you think is the best Yankees prospect, and who do you think is the best player of all time? So the best Yankees prospect. I honestly don't know a lot of the prospects. I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for all of us here, but the best.
I know. I believe the best prospect in the organization is
And
best
Mike Trout.
best prospect in the organization at the moment, Jason Dominguez, best player of all time. I really don't know about that one. I mean, it's kind of, in my biased opinion here, we got Ted Williams, we got Babe Ruth, and we got Pete Rose.
What
What
about
do you think,
you,
Mark?
Mark?
I don't know. I think I would have to say Ted Williams, but yeah, it's definitely a debatable argument because there's a lot
Alright.
of players that could.
Shout out to Yanks Vision. He also asked favorite player of all time. We just answered that now.
Hey, we
But the
got
final
another one.
question.
Oh wait, favorite player or
No, favorite player of all time. Mine, Derek Jeter.
Oh yeah,
mine, Derek Jeter?
Derek. It's all Derek.
Okay.
Jeter.
That was quick.
So,
Thanks for
the
asking
final
the question.
question is Dean_he1del
Oh, Dean Hyde.
445.
Nah, that's my guy, Dean.
All right. So what are your early playoff predictions and division winners? Also, do you see the Yankees and Astros rematch in the ALCS. Honestly, I see the Yankees versing a different team, not the Astros. The Astros got caught cheating. They're not going to do good again. But as far as that, I don't know who they're going to verse. I just think that I don't know. I can't give a team for that.
What do you
So
think,
what
Mark?
do you guys think?
I really don't know a team. Definitely, obviously, I think Yankees are in the ALCS, but they could be playing the Astros. I really don't think the Astros are gonna make it to the ALCS. I could be wrong, but I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I see a
gonna have to-
rematch again. I see it again. Yankees
Really?
Astros. I'm calling it right now. Yankees in 6.
Okay,
Yankees
if there
in
is
6.
if there is a rematch, I'm saying Yankees in 4. We're just gonna like murder them on the field.
I'm going Yankees in
So-
6.
That pretty much wraps up the episode for this week. Remember,
Thanks for asking questions.
Use the code The4Line at fnxfit.com for percent off your order.
Yeah, so
Follow the Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There is a giveaway once we reach 1,000 followers on Instagram. Make sure you
Yes,
keep
sir.
following. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell everybody. So
get
that
the
being
follows
said, your amigo Brandon is out.
Your amigo. No, I can't do your amigo.
up.
Your friend Mark is out also as well.
And me, CJ. Yet again, thanks for asking all the questions.
you.
We will see you guys next week.
See you guys.
All right, be good, everyone.